Big crash!
He destroyed my sail. It was just another one on top, you know. Welcome to the second daily recap from the PWA World Cup here on Sylt. Thank you guys so much for the feedback on the first video. This stuff really keeps us going. My name is Nico Prien. I'm a professional windsurfer and we're gonna take you along for my journey. And today we're gonna find out if I can still keep racing and performing with my injured leg. We're gonna run you through how the elimination system works so you can follow along better. And I would say, let's get right into the action. Day 3 of the World Cup. They intended to do waves, but it was never really windy enough for waves, so they just finished the freestyle competition and now they've decided to send us out again for the slalom. So finally we're getting some proper wind here on Sylt for the slalom, which is not always the case. So now we're preparing all the small gear. So here's how the elimination system works.
All participating riders get drawn into the first round, which are the quarterfinals. In each of the quarterfinal heats, the first 4 finishers can qualify for the next round, which are the semifinals. All others get eliminated and are out of this race. In the semifinals, you compete for your spot for the A or B final. Again, the first 4 finishers of each semifinal go into the A final, where they compete for position 1 to 8, and the last 4 go into the B final, where they will compete for position 9 to 16. We do many races per each event, and all the race results are counted together. So the goal is to collect as few points as possible.
The wind came from the side and it was quite windy. The freestylers were still out, but the wind was supposed to drop. We went out on our small foil boards, on the small foils, on the 6-7, and I safely passed through my first heat.
Maciek, I think, with a very good start if it wasn't over early.
Oh, we got Marotti up this top end. Bruno with a terrible start.
Yeah.
Good start with Pico Trien down that bottom end. Obviously, Matteo Giacchino.
Really good run
General
on wave.
recall. We're here in general recall.
In the semifinals, the wind actually started to drop and it became quite challenging. We were still on our smaller gear and the starting line was quite pin biased. That means starting at the pin end, at the buoy and not at the boat, gave you a good advantage to arrive first to the first mark. So everybody kind of gathered around that pin end, and that led to the situation that everyone was fighting really closely for a good starting position. And we had a couple of over earlies in my semi-final.
It's going to be a tough battle this. Only 5 riders, only 1 misses out, but it will be tight. Little bit bunching up down that bottom end. Good start by the looks of it. Green flag is still up. There we go, it's Matteo rounding first. Then we've got Bruno Martini. Good jibe on the inside from Benedetti. Then we've got Nico Prien. Nico Prien. Ooh, got some speed there. Nico pushing down. He just looks so steady. Great jibe from Bruno. Wide jibe from Prien. And we look to the front with Matteo Giacchino jibing round the last jibe mark in first place. Just needs to keep it solid. Bruno Martini in second. Then we've got Nico Prien in third. No mistakes needed here. No, he's going to go through. Benedetti squeezes through, but on that line, it was so close.
After coming back from the semi-final, I really had to hurry. I had to switch to the bigger gear because the wind dropped drastically. I didn't have much time. Luckily, I had Lars and my father at the beach helping me because I had to switch the board to the bigger board. I had to switch the fuselage and I had to switch the sail. So a lot of screws and mounting. So I just managed to arrive in time to the A final.
2-1. Bruno Martini smashes it on this bottom end near the pin. Then we've got Matteo Giacchino upwind of him. We've got the beast Johan Sober. Matteo Giacchino has sandwiched the Danish rider. We've got Kurdle, I think, in there as well. Matthias Isaac, obviously. But Goya up that top end on the Phantom looking good. Bruno Martini is going to go round in first place. Matteo Giacchino in second. Then we've got Nico Goya in third. Then Matthias Isaac. Then Nico Prien, the beast just inside of Nico. Then we've got Kurdle and Benedetti. A little bit light there. You can see the boys all pumping out of that jibe mark. So Nico Goya, with 2 jibe marks to go, is looking in a solid position to get his first win here in Sylt World Cup. Little moment there as he come into the jibe. Nico Goya goes round. Bruno Martini in second. Then we've got, is it Matthias Isaac? Yes, in third. That's good for the overalls for him. Then I think maybe even Nico Prien. Then we've got Johan So, Benedetti. Wow, Iachino has dropped right back, and he's dropped even further back now. There we go, Nico Goya is the winner of the 4th elimination. He punches the sky. Second place, Bruno Martini. Great race from Bruno. Third place, Matthias Isaac. I think he jumps into the lead for the overall now. Johan So, consistent as ever, in 4th place. Then we've got Nico Prien, I think, in 5th.
Ooh, good comeback. Luckily we changed the gear on the beach. It was so light now. Shout out to Lars and my dad for being super quick with the changing.
Looked like you could have even had 8.7 now, no?
Yeah, I was super light and it was so sketchy with the waves. Actually, it's mentally challenging because I should be happy, but at the same time, there were some mistakes where I'm like, Jesus, this was obviously a mistake. But so hard with the waves because you have to stay on the waves for the jibing. And if the moment you arrive to the mark, the wave is not perfect lining up for you, then you have to brake a bit, but then the guys come behind you and sometimes they come with speed into that exact wave that goes perfectly around the mark. And that's what happened on the last mark. I hit it really badly, that wave, and Johan came from behind. So, a bit bummed about that, but I think can be happy with today.
So more action coming tomorrow, so let's see if I can improve even further. It's gonna be fun and I'm definitely looking forward.
We're gonna set the course, and the plan is to do 3 back-to-back races.
Today could be anything, but at least we're having something after 2 days of waiting. It's been a good rest for my leg for sure, but today we're rigging everything from 8.7 to 5.7, big foil, small foil, everything ready on the beach. Boats are getting out now. Shorebreak's not too big for now. I think that's going to change later on, but we're getting ready for all sorts of wind.
Two, one. Good start. Took that top end, looked like Mattis with a very nice start. Johan So in the middle with a good start, and then Prien Mortefon down this bottom end on the duotone with also a good start. Nico Prien at the moment probably sitting about 4th place. We got Johan So pumping down this reach. So interesting as we come into the first mark. It's Prien Mortefon, Johan So, Mattis, Prien, Vonk on the inside of Prien. Ooh, Vonk in maybe a little bit of trouble here. It's lighter, isn't it? Look at the top end. They're having to pump to stay on the foil, but Nico Prien is caught up here. Nico Prien is right back in the mix. He's in 5th place at the moment. Prien Mortefon is going to have a battle on his hands here. Johan So goes round. Mattis goes round. Need to be jibing on the foil here. Mercer, great jibe from him on that swell, and Prien Mortefon actually jibes inside onto that swell as well. Prien has not given up the fight here. Keep your eye on the Neil Pride. I think Prien Mortefon is in a bit of trouble here. I really do. He looks like he's struggling. Nico looks like he's got more power. I think Prien Mortefon is not going to make this because Prien has gone past him. So Nico Prien has gone up into 4th place. We've still got 1 jibe mark to go. Nico Prien is now in 4th, but that swell is not going to help him. Or is it? Oh, I tell you what, let's stay on that 4th place. I don't know if the drone guys can hear us, but that 4th and 5th place is tight, and Pierre might have got this. This is going to be so close between 4th and 5th. You couldn't call it. Prien Mortefon on the white sail. Surely got the edge. He's got a swell. Oh, and Nico Prien is drifting out. It is going to be Prien Mortefon. What a fight in the end. in these light winds, and Nico can't make it.
Kind of picked up right before we started, but then it dropped off. So we all sort of went out with very small sails, but unfortunately during my heat the wind started to drop and drop and drop, and it was basically a pumping fest. So I felt like that heat should have maybe been cancelled, which is what happened in the next heat right after, and therefore I was a little bit upset and felt like I was treated unfairly. Because the heat after was basically the same thing that we had, and I didn't feel like I could fight for the position. It didn't feel like it was given a chance to me that I could fight to advance to the next round, and therefore I didn't. For sure someone did better than me in that moment in those light conditions, but it's not something we prepare for, and we don't really want to race in. So I was a little bit upset. In the final of this elimination it was again Nico leading, who's been sailing really well, considering that he is on a smaller set of gear than we are, because in Fuerteventura he registered smaller gear. So he's sailing quite well, even in these sort of lighter conditions. Had a close fight with Michel Becker, so Nico managed to come first, Michel second, and then Amado Brieswijk in third. Today was also the day we saw the infamous Sylt shorebreak. When the tide comes in, the waves can get really high, even though the wind is not that strong. And yeah, we saw some waves that when you are standing there with the gear this deep into the water, holding it on your head, you're just looking up to the wave and you don't really know what to do. And we had a couple of those situations today, and we had some gear breakage as well.
It's really bad, especially going out. It's really difficult. I think now it got a little bit bigger because the tide dropped, but it's really tough.
It's terrible, honestly. For going out for the last elimination, luckily I had a friend coming because my gear was getting smashed, and I already told before that getting out and coming in is at least as hard as the race itself. So, wow, I'm just happy that I didn't break anything.
It's a big risk going in and out, but once you are in, it's okay.
Oof, it's all about timing. Looking at the waves ahead, try to not get washed through it and be as out as fast. I have some cuts for sure on my feet with the wings. I got out safe and sound. Yeah, it could have been easier. Actually now that dropped the tide is even worse because there is no water. There was a moment, it was high tide, big waves, but you couldn't touch with the foil, so you can go. And now you touch. So yeah, it's quite tough.
The shorebreak got pretty harsh because when I left in the water, I got washed the first time. My boat flipped, get to the sand. Nothing broken luckily, but I could have destroyed my sail for sure.
I never been out with a foil with such a big shorebreak.
I don't know how I only managed to break one batten. I thought I was lucky. I got up, went over a wave, then hit the sandbank because everything got pulled away. Next wave came and I got washed and washed and washed and washed. So yeah, not fun, tough.
Oh, disaster on the start curdle. What has gone on there? What has gone on? That is an absolute disaster. So Becker looking very good in the middle. Prien obviously looking good, the two Germans. We've got Macker on the other Neil Pride at the front, and then we've got Kernam at the moment, just back from them inside that top four. We've got Giroux on the Gastra. Oh, big crash! Oh my God, that looked absolutely scary. Absolutely scary. There is still a chance they could qualify here, but that looked terrifying. Whoa. We'll have to have another look exactly what happened. Macca and Prien coming together. Prien just trying to get back on. Everyone is uninjured.
It looked like my bad luck was supposed to continue because in the second elimination of the day, I actually had a pretty good start and arrived well to the first mark, but I was taken out by one of my near Prien teammates, Pierre Marquer. I lined up for the wave nicely, sort of have priority there when I'm closer to the mark. And he said that he didn't see me, went on top of me, we had a nasty crash. I damaged my sail and yeah, from that point obviously the race was over. So yeah, that was sort of upsetting, and especially after what happened already at this event, it just felt like I went down the hole.
Jetzt kann ich einpacken, jetzt kann ich nach Hause fahren.
It's tough, guys, I can tell you. I'm trying so hard to stay composed, but I'm very demotivated. I'm not happy, but I'm okay. I'm okay with getting a bad position if I sail bad. If I sail poorly, it's fully deserved. But right now I just feel like, I don't know. I hate to blame it on luck or not, but I just feel very unlucky, and I feel like I couldn't fight. I couldn't give it a proper fight the last two eliminations, so yeah, this is very depressing and demotivating. So I feel like my event is screwed now. We do one more elimination today. Let's see how it goes, but I feel pretty down now. And that's why I was also really upset with Pierre, because I mean, first of all, he destroyed my sail, and then it was just another one on top, you know. Had it been the first, maybe I would have been less upset with him. But now I was just really upset that he just straight crashed into me, and yeah, we were far in the front. There was no need for it. He said he didn't see me, but yeah, what can I say? It's an expensive event for me too. First the board, now the sail. Not going so well.
So this is one of the tighter heats. This is one of the harder heats.
Early or?
Benedetti's going to push here. He really needs to get his day back on. Ooh, that was a really, it's right up there, wasn't he, Becker?
Yeah, I mean, this is a packed heat.
That's what I said. There's more than enough riders in this to cause problems. 100%.
Did Nico break his sail? That is on a new sail.
You're right, he's got G7. And that looks not his. Becker goes round in first, keeping that fine form going. Goya, then Benedetti. Then we got Nico Prien and Enrico Marotti. So Prien is under pressure here. He has got Enrico Marotti, his teammate, to battle with for that 4th and 5th place. Still Becker in the lead, then Goya. Benedetti into 3rd place. Great jibe from him on the inside of the Croatian. Enrico Marotti, and Prien, the German, has had a bad day so far. And this bad day could get even worse. He was in a battle for top German. Goya chooses a wider jibe. Becker loves a jibe, doesn't he? Becker just loves the jibe, and they've all touched down. Keep your eye on Prien. Prien's sensing a moment here. It's not over for Nico Prien just yet. And Goya's in trouble here. Nico Goya could be in trouble. We've got Prien behind him, and this could be a bit of a disaster for Nico Goya. Nico Prien. Oh, there's a big bit of swell here. Benedetti's gone low. Nico could have a little bit of emotion here. We could stay on that other drone angle because you can see the difference. Benedetti's in a bit of trouble. Prien's coming through. Prien is honestly coming through here. Keep your eye on that screen. Big bit of swell. Benedetti's going to ride it. Prien is making good ground up, but I think Benedetti's got it. Prien is accelerating. This is going to go so close. Becker wins it. Marotti second. Third place Goya. Benedetti is going to get it, only just ahead of Nico Prien. And the day just keeps getting worse and worse for Nico Prien.
See, this is what I mean. At least I sailed good now. And I didn't break anything in the shore break. There was a close fight for fourth, so I made it really close. Still a bit disappointed that I couldn't pass. It just didn't feel right. The gear didn't feel correct. I had to change the sail. Obviously, I must have lost a little bit of confidence. So yeah, wasn't too happy about it, but that was the end of the day for me. Amado Rieswijk won the last race of the day and is also leading the ranking now. Nico Goya is second, who is third in the overall ranking right now. And Matteo came third in the last elimination of the day and is second overall right now. So the rankings are super tight, the points are very close. A lot of positions can still change and are changing right now. I'm sitting right now in 14th, really obviously not happy with that. What can I say? I guess it can only get better for me. At the end of this video, I gotta say big shout out to the Wynn Beach Hotel here on Sylt, which is where we're staying, and it's super nice to stay here because obviously we're right next to the spot. So it's been pretty nice to stay here. Big shout out, and I would say thanks for tuning in. It's been a pretty bad day to be honest. What can I say, guys? But I guess it can only get better. Stay tuned for the next video. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much to everyone for leaving comments, likes, watching the videos. It really keeps us going and keeps us motivated to take you along, because yeah, as you saw, it's not always that easy to speak to the camera when it's not going so well. But knowing that you guys like what we're doing here definitely motivates us to keep going. And I would say I see you guys in the next video. Bye.